Yesterday I made a video where I talked about my son. I talked about how I was an alcoholic during his childhood and that I've been sober while he's been in high school. And I mentioned in that post that I feel that I was still a good mom. And I've had some comments that have expressed some feelings about my words. And so I want to acknowledge them. No hate, let's be kind in the comments. I'm choosing this comment to respond to, but there's been a couple similar, and I'm gonna actually read word for word what the comment said. I typed it out because it's rather long, but I don't wanna get it wrong. So this is what this person said. Did you have alcoholic parents growing up? I did. It's literally impossible to be a good mom if you're an alcoholic. You were sober from 14 to 18 years old for my son. But you ruined his childhood from ages 0 to 13. Who cares if you were physically present? You were hammered all the time. Think of the memories you lost and the trauma he doesn't tell you about. Think of the times you may have embarrassed him. He knew every single time you weren't sober. I can't believe you needed an intervention to get your act together. You chose alcohol over your son for 13 years. How do you live with yourself? So this person sharing those feelings is sharing them from a place of pain. I have nothing but empathy for all the children of alcoholics and what they experience at the hands of their addicted parents. Unfortunate doesn't even come close to describing what they have to go through. The sentiments in that comment, there's not a day that goes by that I don't think about everything that was in that comment. Not a day. I lose sleep wondering if I have irreversibly harmed my son, if I have caused damage that will show up at some point in its own way, that I have created a predisposition that he could have issues with substance abuse, that my behaviors have robbed him of what could have been, that my drinking traumatized him in ways that I am not aware of yet. I will live with this for the rest of my life, okay? Rest of my life. However, I also can hold that and can hold the fact that I truly was doing the best with what I had during that time, with what I knew. I'm not making excuses for myself. However, I grew up in a household that did not have alcoholics, but did have other things going on. And those things were a huge part of why I turned to alcohol. Those things still exist, the things that made me turn to alcohol. Okay? I have not seen, heard, or been given any apologies, any self-awareness, any changes of behavior, any taking accountability or responsibility. So, over the last 5 years, I have chosen to break the cycle. A cycle that began before my parents. It began with their parents and probably their parents. And I am doing my best to break that. Do I wish that I had broken that earlier? Absolutely. Do I wish that I had never developed a substance abuse problem? Absolutely. Was I coping with traumas of my own and that was my solution? Absolutely. Was it the best solution? Absolutely not. Did I have any other options at the time? No, I didn't. You might be new here. I've been on this app for a few years now and I've talked about a lot. And I have always taken accountability and responsibility for my actions. They are mine alone to own, as they are for any addicted person. I am truly sorry to the commenter and other people who are making comments that I ruined my son's childhood. I'm sorry that your parents or your caregivers or whoever traumatized or harmed you, that they have not apologized, that they have not taken ownership, and that maybe you have not given yourself the therapy that you deserve to work through the anger and pain and hurt and trauma that you have experienced and are continuing to experience. I understand sharing those feelings, and it's okay for me to hear them and for me to reflect on what was shared by that commenter and the other commenters. I would ask for, if it's possible, some grace when you see someone who is doing their very best to change the future for her child and for herself. If my past actions have harmed my son in any way, I will be the first to admit to them, to apologize for them, to listen, to be present, and to do everything in my power to do whatever it takes to make it better. And that is a fuck ton more than I have ever gotten in return from what caused me to do what I did. So please have some grace. Can't we all just have some grace with each other? And please, if you are hurting because of what your caregivers did to you, please get help. Please, for yourself, for the people around you. You deserve it. You are worth it. You should not have had to experience what you did, but you did. And it's your responsibility to work it out and work through it. It is. It's your responsibility, just like it's my responsibility to take ownership of how I move through the world. It's everyone's responsibility to take ownership. We don't have to take ownership for what happened to us. No. But we have to take ownership for how we're going to deal with it moving forward. So, don't drink today. Bye.